Hello, everyone. Let me start by saying something you may not want to hear. Your body doesn't lie. If you're tired all the time, if you can't lose weight, if you're craving sugar constantly, your body is trying to tell you something. The question is, are you listening? Your body never lies. Every signal, every symptom, every discomfort you feel is your body's way of trying to get your attention. Most people ignore these signs or try to silence them with quick fixes, painkillers for headaches, caffeine for fatigue, sugar for low energy. But here's the truth: those signals aren't the problem, they're the communication. The real problem is that we've lost the ability to understand what our body is trying to say. When you start listening, really listening, you begin to uncover the root cause of your health issues instead of just managing the symptoms. Think of your body as a highly intelligent system that's constantly monitoring balance. It wants to stay in harmony. When something goes wrong, too much stress, poor sleep, nutrient deficiencies, insulin resistance, it sends a signal. Maybe you feel brain fog. Maybe you're bloated. Maybe your skin breaks out or your energy crashes in the afternoon. These are not random events. They're feedback loops. And if you learn to interpret them, you can actually fix what's wrong at the core naturally. Let's take fatigue as an example. Most people feel tired and assume they just need more sleep or more coffee. But fatigue is often a sign of deeper issues. Maybe your cells aren't producing enough energy because your mitochondria are struggling. Maybe your diet is too high in refined carbs, spiking insulin and locking your energy reserves away. Or maybe your adrenal glands are overworked from stress, leading to a crash in cortisol rhythm. Fatigue is not just tiredness. It's your body saying something is off. Look deeper. When you address the cause by stabilizing blood sugar, improving sleep, lowering stress, and getting the right nutrients, the fatigue fades without needing constant stimulation. The same goes for cravings. A craving for sugar isn't just a weak moment. It's your body signaling an imbalance, often due to low blood sugar or a lack of key minerals like potassium or magnesium. Instead of fighting the craving, you have to ask why it's there in the first place. When you fix the underlying imbalance by eating nutrient-dense foods, balancing your meals, and improving insulin sensitivity, the craving disappears on its own. We can even look at mood swings or anxiety. Those emotions are heavily tied to the chemistry in your body, especially to blood sugar fluctuations, gut health, and hormonal shifts. When the gut is inflamed or the liver is overloaded, toxins circulate, nutrient absorption drops, and the brain gets affected. The result, you feel anxious, irritable, or foggy. Again, your body isn't betraying you, it's alerting you. And when you support it with real food, better sleep, and stress reduction, the emotional balance often restores itself naturally. Most people have been trained to believe their body is the enemy. If something hurts, they try to suppress it. If they gain weight, they blame themselves instead of their hormones. But the body is always on your side. It's constantly repairing, regenerating, detoxifying, and adapting to everything you put it through. The only thing it asks in return is that you listen and respond with the right choices. When you ignore those signals, they grow louder. What starts as mild fatigue becomes chronic exhaustion. Occasional bloating turns into persistent digestive issues. A little weight gain evolves into full metabolic dysfunction. The whispers become shouts until you have no choice but to pay attention. When you start tuning in, you'll notice that the body rewards you. You'll have more energy, clearer skin, a better focus, and a sense of balance you might not have felt in years. That's because your body doesn't need to be forced into health. It just needs to be supported. The moment you remove the obstacles, poor diet, lack of sleep, constant stress, and provide what it truly needs, nutrients, rest, and natural rhythms, it begins to heal itself. You don't have to micromanage it. You simply have to trust the signals and act on them. That's the power of understanding that your body never lies. If there's one hormone that determines whether you're burning fat or storing it, whether you're full of energy or constantly tired, it's insulin. Most people think of insulin only in the context of diabetes, but the truth is, this hormone is at the core of nearly every modern health problem: weight gain, fatigue, inflammation, and even brain fog. The key to transforming your health naturally starts with understanding how insulin works and how to bring it back into balance. Insulin's main job is to move sugar or glucose from your bloodstream into your cells so it can be used for energy. That sounds like a good thing, right? The problem begins when sugar and carbs are constantly coming in. Every time you eat, especially anything that contains carbohydrates or hidden sugars, your insulin rises. The more often you eat, the more insulin you release. Eventually, your cells stop responding properly. They become resistant. That means you need even more insulin to do the same job, and the body keeps pumping it out. This is called insulin resistance, And it's the silent foundation of many chronic issues people face today. High insulin keeps your body in fat storage mode. No matter how little you eat or how much you exercise, your body won't let go of the stored fat because insulin's present signals, hold on to it. We might need it later. That's why people can count calories all day long and still not lose weight. It's not about how much you eat. It's about how often your insulin spikes. The more frequently it's triggered, the more your body clings to fat. This is why intermittent fasting and a low carb or ketogenic approach work so effectively. They lower insulin naturally, giving your body the chance to switch fuel sources from burning sugar to burning fat. When your insulin drops, you unlock your stored energy. Suddenly, your body has access to the fat it's been saving for years. You don't feel hungry all the time because your body is finally feeding itself from within. Energy becomes stable, mental clarity improves, and those constant cravings start to fade away. This isn't magic, it's biochemistry working the way it was designed to. Let's connect this to everyday life. If you start your morning with cereal, toast, or fruit juice, you're spiking your insulin first thing in the day. By mid-morning, your blood sugar crashes, and you crave something sweet or starchy again. You eat a snack, insulin spikes again, and the cycle continues. Your body never gets a break. But when you switch to a breakfast of healthy fats and protein, or better yet, skip breakfast altogether and push your first meal later, you give your insulin time to come down. That's when fat burning begins. It's not about eating less, it's about eating less often. Another crucial point is that insulin doesn't just affect weight, it affects almost every other system. High insulin leads to inflammation, high blood pressure, high triglycerides, and even hormonal imbalances. It can also impact your brain, leading to fogginess, poor focus, and even anxiety. Lowering insulin helps reset these systems because your cells can finally communicate and heal without the constant overload. When you start to eat in a way that keeps insulin low, fewer meals, lower carbs, more nutrient-rich foods, you begin to feel a deep sense of balance returning. You're not chasing hunger, not chasing energy, not chasing motivation. Your body becomes efficient again. You sleep better, your moods stabilize, and your metabolism wakes up. Most people try to fix their health by controlling symptoms, taking more supplements, exercising harder, or counting calories. But if insulin remains high, the problem persists. It's like trying to bail water out of a sinking boat without patching the hole. The first step is to fix the insulin response. Once you do that, everything else follows naturally. You don't have to force weight loss. Your body does it automatically. You don't have to fight cravings. They simply fade. The human body is built to thrive on stability, and insulin is the switch that controls that stability. Balance it, and your entire system begins to heal from the inside out. What you eat becomes who you are, down to the cellular level. Every single thing you put into your body either builds health or breaks it down. Food isn't just calories, it's information. It tells your body what to do, how to function, how to repair, and even how to age. When you eat food that heals, your body thanks you with energy, focus, and longevity. When you eat food that hurts, your body reacts with inflammation, fatigue, and imbalance. The choice is constant and it's powerful. The modern diet is filled with things that look like food but act like toxins. Processed oils, refined grains, added sugars, artificial ingredients. These aren't nutrients, they're stressors. They confuse your metabolism, damage your gut, and overload your liver. Your body is forced to process them, but it pays a price. The first step to transforming your health naturally is removing the junk that's draining your system. When you stop feeding your body chemicals and empty calories, it can finally redirect its energy toward healing and rebuilding. Real food has intelligence. When you eat nutrient-dense vegetables, clean proteins, and healthy fats, you're feeding your body the raw materials it needs to regenerate. Every cell in your body is replaced within months, and what those new cells are made of depends on what you've been eating. If you're eating clean, vibrant, natural food, your new cells are strong and resilient. If you're eating processed, inflammatory food, your new cells are weak and unstable. You're literally rebuilding yourself every day with the materials you choose at each meal. Let's talk about nutrient density. Your body runs on vitamins, minerals, amino acids, and fatty acids. These aren't optional. They're required for energy production, hormone balance, brain function, and immune health. When you eat foods like leafy greens, avocados, eggs, fish, nuts, and cruciferous vegetables, you're giving your body the fuel it understands. These foods contain the enzymes and cofactors needed for repair and detoxification. When you eat junk food, you're forcing your body to spend its nutrient reserves just to neutralize the damage. That's why people who live on processed foods feel tired, anxious, or bloated even if they're eating plenty of calories. The body is starving for real nutrients. Healthy fats are especially important. For years, people were told to fear fat, but your brain, hormones, and cell membranes are all made from fat. Without it, your metabolism slows down, your hormones become unstable, and your brain loses focus. Natural fats like olive oil, coconut oil, butter, and fatty fish support your body's ability to heal. They keep you full, stabilize blood sugar, and reduce inflammation. When you switch from processed seed oils and sugars to these healthy fats, you'll notice your cravings drop and your energy becomes steady. Protein is the next piece of the puzzle. It's the building block for muscle, enzymes, and immune cells. But the source matters. Grass-fed beef, wild-caught fish, pasture-raised eggs. These are clean sources of protein that come with minerals and healthy fats. Processed meats, on the other hand, are loaded with chemicals that stress the liver and gut. Quality over quantity always wins. Then there's the importance of vegetables. They're not just fiber, they're medicine. Vegetables supply phytonutrients that protect your cells from oxidative stress, support your liver in detoxifying harmful compounds, and feed your gut bacteria. A healthy gut translates into better digestion, stronger immunity, and even improved mood. Most people underestimate how powerful vegetables are in restoring balance. When you start eating food that heals, your body quickly responds. Skin clears, energy rises, sleep improves, and your mental clarity sharpens. These are signs that your body is finally getting what it needs. The transformation doesn't happen overnight, but it happens naturally. You don't have to force it. You just have to stay consistent. The body is always moving toward healing. It just needs the right fuel to do its job. Every meal is an opportunity to nourish, rebuild, and strengthen. Every choice either supports your recovery or delays it. Once you experience the difference, you'll never see food the same way again. Fasting is one of the most natural healing mechanisms your body has, yet it's one of the most misunderstood. Most people think fasting means starvation, but that's not what it is. Fasting is a strategic pause. It's giving your body the break it needs from constant digestion so it can focus on something far more important: repair. When you stop eating for a period of time, your body doesn't shut down, it switches modes. It goes from growth and storage to cleanup and regeneration. This simple shift activates a cascade of healing processes that no supplement or medication can replicate. Every time you eat, especially if you eat carbohydrates, your body releases insulin to manage blood sugar. When you eat all day, 3 meals, snacks, late night treats, your insulin stays elevated. High insulin blocks fat burning and keeps your body in storage mode. Fasting lowers insulin naturally, allowing your body to access stored fat for energy. But that's just the beginning. As insulin drops, other powerful mechanisms kick in. Your body begins a process called autophagy, which literally means self-eating. In this phase, your cells start breaking down and recycling damaged proteins, toxins, and malfunctioning parts. It's like an internal detox and repair system that runs automatically when you stop feeding yourself constantly. Think about it this way: your digestive system is like a busy factory. If it's running all day, every day, it never has time to clean up, reorganize, or upgrade equipment. Fasting gives the factory workers time to do maintenance. That's why people who practice intermittent fasting often notice clearer skin, sharper thinking, and better digestion. The body is finally able to allocate energy toward deep repair instead of continuous processing. Another key benefit of fasting is its effect on growth hormone. When you fast, your growth hormone levels rise dramatically. Growth hormone preserves muscle mass, burns fat, and promotes cellular repair. This is why fasting doesn't make you weak or slow down your metabolism as many fear. It actually makes your body more efficient at using energy. Your mitochondria, the powerhouses of your cells, become stronger and more numerous, which means you produce cleaner, more stable energy throughout the day. One of the biggest fears people have about fasting is hunger, but the hunger you experience in the beginning isn't true hunger. It's your body's adaptation process. You're used to running on sugar, so when you remove constant fuel, your body has to learn how to burn fat again. Once you adapt, hunger fades, energy rises, and your mental clarity becomes unmatched. You're no longer dependent on food to keep your energy steady because your body can now tap into its massive energy reserve, your stored fat. Fasting also resets your relationship with food. It makes you more aware of why you eat. Many people eat out of habit, boredom, or emotion. When you begin fasting, you realize how often you've been eating without true hunger. That awareness brings freedom. You start eating because your body needs nourishment, not because of cravings or routine. Your digestion improves, your meals become more satisfying, and you start to appreciate food in a new way. Fasting even supports the liver and gut. By reducing the workload of constant digestion, your liver has more capacity to detoxify, and your gut lining gets time to heal. Inflammation drops, bloating reduces, and your immune system strengthens. The result is a cleaner, more efficient system that runs smoothly without effort. The beauty of fasting is its simplicity. You don't need expensive products, complicated diets, or special tools. You just need discipline and understanding. Whether you start with 12 hours, 16 hours, or longer fasts, your body responds the same way. It heals, rebalances, and regenerates. Every hour you spend not eating gives your body a chance to catch up, clean up, and renew itself from the inside out. Fasting isn't punishment, it's permission for your body to finally do what it's built to do: restore health naturally. Most people are trained to chase symptoms. When they feel tired, they reach for caffeine. When they have pain, they take a pill. When their digestion feels off, they buy supplements. But these reactions only silence the message. They don't solve the problem. Every symptom you experience has a root cause, and until you address it, the body will keep sending signals. Healing naturally means working with your body, not against it. Instead of covering up what you feel, you look deeper to find why it's happening in the first place. That's where real transformation begins. The body is a system, not a collection of isolated parts. Everything is connected. Your liver affects your skin, your gut affects your brain, your sleep affects your hormones. When something goes wrong, it rarely starts where you notice it. For example, if your skin breaks out, the problem might not be the skin itself, but what's happening inside your liver or gut. The body is always compensating, trying to stay in balance. The symptom is just the tip of the iceberg. The real issue lies beneath the surface. Let's take weight gain as an example. Most people think it's just about eating too much or not exercising enough. But for many, it's hormonal. When insulin or cortisol is too high, the body stores fat no matter how much you diet. When the liver is sluggish, detoxification slows down and fat accumulates. If you focus only on eating less, you miss the underlying dysfunction. But when you fix insulin, support the liver, and reduce stress, the weight starts to drop naturally. You're not forcing your body to change, you're allowing it to return to balance. The same principle applies to digestive issues. Bloating, heartburn, and discomfort are often signs of an overworked liver or a gut microbiome that's out of balance. You could take antacids or digestive pills, but that only masks the symptoms. When you start eating real food, chewing slowly, and cutting out processed junk, your gut begins to heal. The bloating fades, your digestion normalizes, and your energy returns. The symptom disappears because the cause is no longer there. Your liver plays a central role in this process. It's the filter for everything you eat, breathe, or apply to your skin. When the liver gets overloaded with toxins, sugar, or processed fats, it can't do its job efficiently. You might experience fatigue, hormonal imbalance, skin problems, or brain fog. Most people treat those as separate issues, but they're all connected to the same overloaded organ. When you support the liver by eating cruciferous vegetables, drinking enough water, reducing alcohol, and giving it rest through intermittent fasting, you start healing the foundation and everything else begins to improve. Healing the root also means addressing stress. Chronic stress drives up cortisol, which disrupts sleep, increases belly fat, and weakens the immune system. Many people try to fix these effects individually, but unless you reduce the stress itself through better sleep, mindfulness, and slowing down, the problems keep returning. The body can't heal when it's constantly in fight or flight mode. Rest, recovery, and calm are just as important as nutrition when it comes to true healing. When you start thinking this way, you realize that symptoms are not enemies, they're messages, they're clues that point you toward imbalance. Instead of fearing them, you start to appreciate them because they guide your healing journey. The goal isn't to suppress what you feel, but to understand it. Every ache, every craving, every dip in energy has meaning. Once you focus on the root, your health becomes stable. You no longer depend on temporary fixes. Your body works smoothly because it's aligned internally. That's the essence of natural healing. It's not about managing disease. It's about creating balance. When you give your body the right food, rest, and mindset, it does what it's designed to do, restore itself. True health isn't something you chase. It's what happens when you remove the barriers standing in the way of your body's natural intelligence. Taking control of your health begins with one simple truth. No one is coming to save you. Your body, your habits, and your daily choices are your responsibility. Too many people wait for the perfect time, the perfect diet, or the perfect motivation to start getting healthy, but that moment never comes. Health transformation doesn't require perfection. It requires commitment. You can't keep blaming age, stress, genetics, or lack of time. Every excuse you make delays the healing your body is capable of. The moment you decide to take ownership, everything changes. The human body is incredibly resilient. It has the ability to heal, regenerate, and rebalance itself, but it can only do that when you give it the right conditions. If you continue to feed it junk, deprive it of sleep, and drown it in stress, it will eventually break down. When you stop making excuses and start making changes, your body responds quickly. Within days of eating clean, sleeping well, and reducing stress, your energy improves, your mind becomes clearer, and you feel stronger. That's not luck. That's biology working in your favor. The problem is that we've become too comfortable outsourcing responsibility for our health. We look for quick fixes, medications, or trendy diets to do the work for us. But the truth is, your health can't be outsourced. No doctor, supplement, or trainer can outwork your habits. You have to decide that your health matters more than convenience. You have to treat your body like the priceless machine it is. That means fueling it properly, moving it daily, resting it deeply, and protecting it from unnecessary stress. Change doesn't start with willpower, it starts with awareness. You have to be honest about the patterns holding you back. Maybe you eat when you're stressed, skip sleep to stay productive, or constantly say, I'll start tomorrow. Those patterns keep you stuck. The first step is to recognize them without judgment, then replace them with actions that move you forward. Health isn't built overnight, but it's built daily through consistency. Each small step compounds over time. Skipping one sugary snack, walking for 10 minutes, or choosing water over soda may seem minor, but they're signals to your body that you're on its side again. Excuses are easy because they protect comfort, but comfort rarely leads to growth. The people who transform their health don't have fewer challenges. They just stop letting those challenges define them. They learn to adapt. If they can't go to the gym, they walk outside. If they don't have access to organic food, they make the best choices available. They do what they can where they are with what they have. That mindset is powerful because it removes the illusion of helplessness. You are never stuck. You are simply one decision away from progress. The biggest shift happens when you stop seeing health as a punishment and start seeing it as freedom. When you take care of yourself, you think better, move better, and feel better. You have more patience, more focus, and more confidence. That ripple effect spreads into every area of your life, your work, your relationships, and your sense of purpose. You realize that taking control of your health isn't selfish. It's the foundation for everything else you do. There will be days when it's hard, when you don't feel like doing the right thing. But that's when commitment matters most. Excuses will always be available, so will discipline. The difference between staying stuck and transforming your health is the choice you make in those moments. You can choose progress over perfection, action over delay, and responsibility over blame. Your body is ready to heal, but it's waiting for you to lead. When you stop negotiating with your excuses and start honoring your potential, you'll discover the strength and vitality that were always there, waiting to be activated